as an Indigenous person, it was a big challenge being an enlisted person in the military. Dealing with difficult people, the harassment, the biases, the racial remarks, not only as a person, but as a female as well. Every station I went to, there was some sort of incident that would occur. And it was usually by people that were higher ranking than me. You know, they forced themselves on me. And it was kind of destroying who I was as a person. I didn't really realize until later that's actually was military sexual trauma. My name is Suzanne Allen. I did a total of 20 years of military service. I'm actually a Sac and Fox Nation of Oklahoma tribal member. I remember the teachings that my grandmother taught me, you know, about prayer and having faith and hope and belief in yourself. And her telling us to not completely trust everything because of the way she grew up and just the way our treatment has been throughout history. The way the tribes dealt with outsiders. Only talk to the ones you really trust. When I went into active duty, I was under the assumption that everybody was kind of treated equal. Unfortunately, a rude awakening that I was treated quite differently. That resulted in several incidents, what you consider basically assault. I turned that stuff inward. That's when the binge drinking started. I did seek out help from what you would call medicine men. They provided certain, I guess, I don't know if you call them rituals or things they wanted me to do every day. At the beginning, they were helpful somewhat. When I retired, that was the point where everything came back out. I spiraled out for a good 4 or 5 years there. I lost a lot of jobs. I went through, I think, a total of 17 jobs that first 5 years out. I was homeless like 3 different times. I was hospitalized 3 times for suicide attempts. And I remember sitting on the floor. I had broken a razor, and I was cutting my wrist. And all of a sudden, I said out to the universe, if the universe is out there, I don't know what to do. And then in that moment, I heard this voice that said, stop. And I stopped what I was doing, and I'm like, what? Because I thought there was someone in the room with me. And I felt like at that moment that was like my grandparents. They were telling me, no, you can't keep doing this. Going to the VA was helpful after all of that, because I don't think I would be here at the moment if I hadn't. I think as an Indigenous person, you have to look at traditional treatments as your base for everything, and then sometimes you're going to have to go outside of that, because one or the other is not going to be the sole thing that's going to help you. You're going to have to seek out as many resources as possible. Going through the VA and getting counseling and going to the programs has helped me deal with a lot of things. You have to go through that anger and that resentment and those feelings and thoughts of yourself and the people around you before you can get to the other side. And that's been the biggest help for me, is going through all of that and getting to the other side to where I am now. But for our tribe, there are things that everybody has gone through, whether we are in service or not, that you need to try to be open with. Because that's really the only way you're going to heal yourself, is you have to talk about it. You have to take that step.